Hello. Good morning. It's time for your 5 a.m. Wake and Breakthrough. Hello, Success 365 now, and welcome replay viewers and web viewers, early risers, evening innovators, and all of you who are in between, who are just jumping in for a quick sneak peek and jumping right back out. We welcome you, we welcome you, we welcome you. Good morning. I'm Naketa Thigpen. I'm a women's executive balance advisor here to help you increase your focus and infuse balance in life and business. 5 a.m. Wake and Breakthrough is all about breaking through the barriers that are preventing you from actually being able to do all those things. Good morning, husband. It's so awesome to see you. My husband is an evening innovator who stays up to the wee hours of the night doing all those fabulous designs that you see for 5 a.m. Club and Fig Pros, everything, and all the special things that he does when I'm doing like a midday motivating power lunch thing. He designs all my empowerment moments and everything, and he writes a ton. He's amazing. He's amazing. Yes, I'm doting on him because I'm so excited to see him join today. He hasn't been able to join because he's been working in the lab so hard. So welcome, husband, and welcome everyone who's joining. I'm excited. This week we have dug in because some of us were preparing for the storm we saw brewing. Some of us were already in it. But we didn't just want to survive. We wanted to thrive through it, right? Like, forget surviving. Surviving is over. We've done that. We've made it thus far off of surviving. We want to thrive to our next level. Thank you for the hearts. I welcome you. I welcome you. I welcome the hearts. They are good for me. And they give me a little bit of energy and motivation too. This morning, I don't have my normal peppermint tea or chai tea, but I got my favorite water with me. This is going to be an incredibly full day for me. So I am like super hydrated up early this morning because I have to be out of here in a few minutes to get to my 7 a.m. And I'm looking forward to it. Mary Trapani, I'm on my way to you. Bobby Fodish, I'm on my way to you. I'm excited. I'm excited. So let's get to it. All this week, we've been dealing with preparing for the storm and not pretending while we're in the midst of it, making sure that we work while the storm is here and not trying to take the time because we're so overwhelmed and falling back because of burnout or stress or just because we don't understand the gravity of it, because we really do understand it, but we don't want to deal with it. And we understand that we have to work through the storm. This is not the time to play. You go play in the rain when it's trickling. That's when you go dance in it. You do not do that when it's thundering, banging against your house. That's your finances. That's your relationship. That's your life. That's your health. That's your mental state. That's all of those things. That's when we talk about the storm, that's what we're talking about. That's just the house analogy is all just something visual for you to grapple with and apply it to whatever makes sense for you. Hey, Trudy True, welcome. This is very important today that we understand when the storm has ended. Yesterday, the storm was over and we had all this gear and we had to figure out what to do with it. All the extra food, all the extra water, all the extra everything that we had gotten to prepare for the storm to bumper down. Don't be a hoarder. We learned to pay it forward and to give it to someone else who we could see that their storm was, bearing down on them. It was coming in. It was about to start, or maybe they were in the midst of it. And you definitely have to pay it forward. That's a part of your ability to thrive is you give. You got to give. You got to seed into that thing. Today, it is completely done. Hey, sister, it's completely done. The storm is over. So you get to say, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Yeah, I know I can't sing. It doesn't matter. But I can sing it because I can see clearly now. Oh, hey, sis. I know my family is like, stop singing. It's all right. I don't care. I love my voice anyway. I sound really good in the shower. So anyway, now that you can, yes, I was singing, honey. I was singing. Something like that. Now that you can see clearly, you go out of whatever your house is. You stepped out of your financial dreariness. You're finally getting some money and being able to breathe a little bit. You are not stuck in the toxicity. Is that a word? I think I just made it up. The toxicity, hey Tara Felicia, of whatever the relationship was. If your business was failing or really pulling you down or you really felt like you lost your mission or your vision, you've gotten it together and you can literally see clearly now. You step out the door and what do you see? the aftermath of everything. There's debris everywhere around you. There's mud puddles and caves in the ground, sinkholes from the rain bearing down and the lightning hitting everything. Now let's be honest. I want you to be honest. When you come out of your storm, because we've all had multiple storms. If you've made it anything over 22 years old, let alone 30, let alone 40, let alone 50, y'all done been through a whole lot in life to get you to this point. And praise God for it, because you're here, right? But you've seen some things. So you know when you come out of the storm, just being completely honest, there's a little solace that happens when you realize you weren't the only one in it. You're not necessarily wanting to pull anybody into the storm with you, hopefully. But when you walk out and you see this one's house, that one's house, the other one's house, hey Joyce, when you see that the storm has affected other people around you, it does make you back up and breathe just a little bit easier, like, oh, okay, it wasn't just me. Because when you're in the house and things are happening, you're not thinking about your neighbors and the people down the street and the people in the next town. You're really thinking like, what do I need to do? How do I need to do this? And how can I make sure the windows don't bust out and hit the kids in the head and, bust a crack in a big major pipe, or whatever it is that you're protecting in your house, in your relationship, in your life, for your loved ones, for your health, whatever that is, whatever your house is that you're protecting in the midst of the storm and that you're trying to help continue to stand up. When you walk out the door and you see it's affected other people, it does make you feel like, okay, this is normal. And it's not a misery love company thing. For some of you, it is a little bit of that. But for most people, it's like, okay, I wasn't alone in this. However, you also pay attention to the houses that weren't affected at all. That stands out probably even more clearly than the debris from the aftermath. You start looking at, well, Mr. John's house didn't get touched. He don't even have so much as a leaf on his lawn from the tree. And so-and-so's house didn't get touched. So, okay, that's awesome that it didn't get touched. But you start to wonder why. So now you're comparing yourself. Well, what was it about my house that my house had all this calamity and we had all these issues going on over here and my finances and my relationship, we're on the same block. As in, we look pretty much the same. Outward design, inward design is a little bit different, but for the most part, we're in the same neighborhood. We pay the same taxes. We do, you start looking at all the things that are similar and wondering why yours had to be the one that was as affected as it was. What do you do with that? This is your breakthrough moment. What do you do with that when you start paying attention to how other people haven't had to seemingly go through what you just had to in that very hour? What's the first thing that pops in your head? For some, and this may not be you, it may be somebody else who's thinking this. For some, the first thought is, well, why didn't they come help me? First of all, if the storm was happening, I want you to be very clear. The storm was happening and it may have affected them differently. Maybe their relationship storm happened months earlier when yours was just fine, right? But the storm affects everybody in different ways. Some houses, some places, nature is funny that way. It can happen on this block and not happen across the street, right? But everyone hears about some level of it and everyone understands that it's happening, even if it's not affecting their day to day. Let's be clear. If it's raining in California where my sister is right now, that's not affecting me, but I can turn on the news and see it. But it's not the same level. So I'm not necessarily reaching out and saying, hey, sis, you need an umbrella? Kind of like, well, you're in Cali, I'm in Philly. All right. If she calls me, which was my point earlier this week in 5 a.m. Club, if she calls me and asks for help, says, hey, this ain't no regular rain. This is a storm. I need y'all to send me something, drive down here, fly down here. That's a little different. So sometimes it is about you opening your mouth. Other times, it's really just about you not understanding that that person has to deal with their own storm at their own time. And you're so in your feelings, you're taking it so personal that you really think that they were purposefully not helping you, or you go the other route and feel like maybe they were better. Their houses were built better. They were in just a better position on the block that it didn't affect them. And you start doubting your ability to stand strong again. You start looking at your house wondering, well, I don't know if I should even bother rebuilding right here because it seems like I get storms all the time. Let me be very upfront with you. You have no idea when you look at a person, when you look at that house, what's going on the inside. It may look beautiful. It may look strong. It may have sunshine beaming all around it. And it's like, oh, that's so nice. And they're never affected. Nothing ever happens. You have no idea whether or not they have a floor that's been torn out or a roof that caved in. You don't know who you're looking at. They could be the best thing since sliced bread, or they could be the devil. It could be some serious stuff going on up under those floorboards in that house. Not that you want something negative to be happening to make yourself feel better, but be mindful. You have no idea what's happening on the inside of that person's situation, place, or space just because the outside looks so much better than yours. Maybe your inside is actually pretty all right. Your outside is just beat down. And you have a lot to getting together. Like your finances are crazy, but you have your health. Maybe your health was affected, but you had your family showing up and supporting you. Your marriage is fine. Your dating game was strong. Your children are alive and well and healthy. You have no idea how good you had it in the midst of the wacky chaos that you just had to deal with. And the other person who looks a little bit different, who looks like they're in a better position across the street, not affected, may actually be just that. Hey, Ashley, what's up, Music Man? Thank you for joining today. I want you to really dig in your breakthrough moment and check yourself for how you're feeling when you go outside and see the aftermath. Going a little bit further, because that's what I like to do at 5 a.m. Just a little bit further before we end. Are you going to go across the street and check on them? Or are you going to say, I got so much to do and to clean up out here, that you're going to refocus on your bubble? You got all these ideas going in your head of why that house wasn't affected. Are you so consumed with your territory, your land, that you won't reach out to your brother or sister, whether you really know them, like them, care for them or not? Are you going to be so absorbed that you say, well, I guess they're all right. They look like they're in a good position. Or you want to take the time and knock on the door and say, hey, how are you doing? I know we just had a storm across the street the other day, and from the outside, everything looks okay, but I just want to make sure the floorboards are right. Everything okay in there? You good? They might say, well, you know what? Everything is perfect. I didn't know you had a storm. Let me come help. Who knows? You never know who your next center of influence is going to be, your next resource, your next networking partner, your strategic partner. You just never know, right? Your next dating partner, your next husband or wife. You never know. Reverend Thig, a little bit further, do that. Ashley, you're amazing. I love you. I hope you're doing better. Are you well? Are you doing better? Let me know, online and offline, of course. But definitely go a little further. Or they may say, wow, I didn't know it was happening out here so bad, because it was really a lot going on in here, and I appreciate your help. This is how you can help me. Just like I told you to ask for help, you'd be surprised at what happens when you ask someone, how can you help them? Even in the midst of your crazy, and especially at the end of it, when you feel like I really don't have that much left in me to give out because I just finished dealing with all that I did and I came outside and there's still a lot of work to do. How do you want to thrive? Surviving through it is walking out the house saying, oh, all this stuff, let me go to Home Depot and clean up my mess. That's surviving. That's bare minimal. You got to go a little bit further. If you want to thrive through this thing and take all the lessons that you gathered from it, you got to go a little further. That is where I will leave you in your 5 a.m. wake and breakthrough this morning. I hope it felt good and pierced your spirits. Hopefully you was convicted a little bit too. We'll see. We'll see when you show up tomorrow at 5 a.m. because we're going to go a little deeper and it's going to be awesome. I'm biased, yes, but it will be awesome. Maybe it was all the energy from my husband this morning. It's awesome. Thank you, Ashley. I'm glad you're feeling better. Trudy, Joy, Success 365, Sister, all of you who I saw, and of course I know there are many, many more that are on the web that I can't see. Thank you for joining 5 a.m. Wake and Breakthrough. I gotta get dressed because I gotta leave here in an hour. I'm excited. This is gonna be a full, long, back-to-back day, but I'm really excited. As Pastor Waller would say, y'all gonna get this in a minute. How about that? How about that? For those of you who are unfamiliar with Pastor Waller, he's a major pastor on the Philadelphia side over here. He may be actually global too. Actually, is he global? I think he's global, but I know he's on the Philadelphia side for our East Coasters. He's a pretty amazing, amazing man. I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 a.m. for Wake and Breakthrough. Thank you for the heart love. Thank you for the energy. Yes, hashtag go a little further. That is your hashtag today. Yes, he is global. Okay, thank you, Ashley. I thought he was global too. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. You can also see me in a breathe room. I'll be dipping in and out in between my meetings today, but I will be there and I will show up. Hey, E! Ooh, 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 ooh. Eric is here. Thank you for joining, E. I didn't even see you come in. That's awesome. You know, the names come up so fast. Thank you. I love you guys to life. Enjoy this day and let it be a prosperous one. I mean that fully. See you tomorrow morning.